Anyway, I'm gonna still give people a little minute to come in because I am extremely late, but that's okay. Anyway, this is what we doing, guys. Today I'm going to discuss the Treaty of Marrakech, or the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, versus the Reconstruction treaties that was done with the five civilized tribes. I think this is a very important conversation. This is a very important topic. This is something that when Moorish Americans start talking about the law and we start telling our friends and families why it's important to nationalize, one of the main statements that is always made is that the government never respects their treaties. They broke all of their treaties. And the prime example that people love to bring up is the Reconstruction treaties with the five civilized tribes. Now, the construction treaties with the five civilized tribes is a different nature of a treaty from the Treaty of Peace and Friendship with Marrakech. The Treaty of Marrakech, the Treaty of Marrakech was an international treaty. It was an international treaty. There is a big difference. Hey, what's going on? There's a difference between a national treaty and a federal treaty. Hello. The treaty, the Reconstruction treaties that was done with the five civilized tribes was a federal treaty. That was something in-house. That was the in-house situation. That was the in-house situation, guys. Let me explain something to you. The United States of America is on leased land, right? This ground that we're on, this continent that we are occupying, like a big part of North America, is leased to the United States of America. Only the owners of the land can lease something, can lease it out, right? The leasers of the land is also who the United States of America has a treaty with. Okay? So let's look at a little bit of history. We have a treaty that was done between the Sultan of Morocco and the President of the United States of America at that time, or the United States in Congress at that time. They wrote up an international treaty of peace and friendship, right? Which I will be going over in another video. I'm going to discuss that in another video. Who's down there? Who's watching? Say hi, y'all. Say hi so I can see you. But yeah, they did a separate treaty from the one that was done with the five tribes. Now, the treaty that was done with the Sultan was concerning the affairs and the landmass and everything here. All of that was wrapped up in there. Particularly when it came to the Treaty of Marrakech, they were talking about the vessels and the ships in the ports and stuff like that, which is a broad spectrum terminology when they talk about ships, because the ships that they were talking about that are entitled to dock in the ports, or to come into the ports of Morocco and will be protected by the king, are us women, because this is a matrilineal society, and ships are always women. They give birth just like we do at the waters. Our waters part, we deliver, so do the ships. Anyway, back to, let's see who's here. Peace, sis, what's going on? Thank you for saying something so I don't be talking to myself. It's much easier when I have somebody to talk to. Help keep me on track a little bit. But oh no, wrong place. Yeah, so that treaty was an international treaty. That was a treaty that was done with a sovereign, right? A sovereign that has an army at their disposal. That army that was at the disposal to the of the sultan, of the king, was also a hand, a military hand, an ally to the United States of America. So the United States can't break the Treaty of Marrakech. They can't break that treaty of peace and friendship. They are operating on the land. So if they break that Treaty of Marrakech, they are that will be biting the hand that feeds them in a very direct way, and will put them in world problems, seriously, especially at that particular time when the United States of America was young a very young establishment, and it did not yet have any allies, let alone an army to defend it. Okay, so they had to behave themselves for a very long time, and they moved very smart and strategically to do it. Okay, so now we have some years later, and the wars have happened. We had the Cold War, the World War II, and upon the Civil War now, right? Now we up at the Civil War. The United States is in need of being reconstructed because we had the two wars plus the mud floods that they don't like to talk about. We had the mud floods, and parts of this country was being attacked by aliens, y'all. I'm gonna just go out there and say it. Spaceships hovered in the sky for a whole year, beaming down fire. All kind of cataclysmic things was happening, and it does not serve the interests of the government to inform you of these things. It doesn't serve their better interest to have you all the way informed, which is why we don't know. It's not common knowledge. It doesn't make you a better builder. It doesn't make you a better farmer. It doesn't make you a better lawyer. It doesn't make you a better doorman. It doesn't make your service any better to know that we were under attack by aliens. It don't help them out at all, right? So while they were keeping that a secret, what they did was some very nasty, tricky stuff happened. They had some guys. One of them was Albert Pike, who was also a Freemason. He dipped and dabbed in the military. He was a captain, a general. And he used to go between the different factions and different tribes to negotiate terms with them to try and bring everything together. While they was doing that, the arrangement was made that us indigenous people be left behind. We be left on the southeast coast of the continent, and they were going to move all of the mulattoes and all of the half breeds, the ones who looked light skinned enough and had straight enough hair to pass for Caucasian or to pass for Asian, straight Asian. They moved them over to the west of the Mississippi, which is where, pay attention, listen, guys, listen, because we dwelled on this side, the East Coast of the continent. This is where we had our cities and everything set up. We never lived in no teepees out in the wilderness. That was homeless people shit. That was homeless people shit. Them people came here from Asia, from Russia. Don't get it twisted though. They are Moorish descendants, just like we are. Yes, they are. They traveled over from Tartaria, over on the other part of our empire, and they followed us here. And that's what they did throughout history. They learned how to get around the planet from following us and living under us. So that's no big deal. Like, we don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. If you dig into the Russian, German, and southeastern European countries, it's no secret that they have African origin. It's no secret that these people started off looking like me and ended up how they are now. They don't deny this. It's only not taught here in the United States because the whole purpose was to break up our kingdom. And in order to take down this house, you had to separate the family that lived inside of it. So that's what they did. We lived amongst them. They lived with us. Plenty of us moved out to the wilderness, and we lived in the plains with their asses. And some of them left the goddamn plains and came to live in houses and homes in the cities with us. We didn't have a problem with that. That's a come you had Indians like Black Bear, Great Wolf that wore the headband and they had feathers on because they had assimilated into our kingdom. They had become a part of our nation, even though their parentage and their lineage came from another continent. The same way people right now today, they leave the country of their origin, of their birth, they leave the places of their grandparents' nativity, and they come to the United States of America and they naturalize into the American society and become citizens. That same thing was done. That is the same thing that was done way, way, way back when. The Russians and the Mongolians, the Asians, they came over here. Those are nomadic people. They came over here, they assimilated, and they lived with us. And they liked the west side, the little arid area right there. They liked it there. That's where they wanted to stay. That's where they a lot of them was. Cause they like to roam around and be nomads. We ain't mad with them. We ain't getting in their way. We not telling them how to live. They here, all we ask is that you don't mess up the place. You know, this is our rules. This is how we live according to nature. We share the same cosmology, which is different from a religion, which is different from doctrine. We didn't do those. We showed you the science, and then we let you decide how that science applied to you. Because that's your body. You got to live in that, not us. Right? Okay, so now back to the treaties. The twins blue and red pill was just live talking about this. They be watching me, I think. They be watching me. They be watching me. I know they were still doing lectures. But yeah, those people were from another, they were not indigenous here. Yes, they are native. Yes, they are native. And yes, they were here before the Europeans came over to colonize. But they are not the ones who are a part of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Those are not the Moors. And the Moors are mentioned by name, Moors, in the treaties. Now, the Moors, we have our own society here, right? That encompasses our various, it includes envelopes, whatever you want to call it. It includes all of the various tribes here, but we mostly were 5 tribes. Moors broke down to 5 tribes. We were Choctaw, Cherokee. I can't stand this when this be happening. We be Choctaw, we be Cherokee, we be Seminole, we be Yamasee, and we be, yeah, let me see, Cherokee, Choctaw, Yamasee, Seminole. I got this stuff written down somewhere. And Muskogee, Cree. Okay? So those are the basic 5 civilized tribes. And they called us the 5 civilized tribes because when they came here, we was not running around in no damn bushy ass backyard with the weeds all over the place. That's some TV shit that they show you on TV to distract you from the truth. When they came to America, the same way you walk outside and you see your block gridded up and everyone's house is on a plot of land and they have a yard and they have a home, we was set up like this when they got here. Didn't no slaves build this shit. Didn't no slaves build this. Engineers, construction workers, contractors, professional masons, they did this. They did this. Our people, they did this long before a European stepped foot over here. When we ruled, that's when the world was known as having its golden age. Uh-huh. And North America, the southeast portion especially, was known as the Golden City. These are the golden cities. So now we got this Treaty of Marrakech with the Moors, right? So the government, with they sneaky selves, got men like Albert Pike running around being generals, and they working magic and they talking that good stuff to these people who come from someplace else, who no doubtedly had a problem with us. They did. They had a problem with us, like a lot of people. When they come to your house and you let them get too comfortable, they try to take the fuck over. They want to start acting like shit is theirs. They want to put you in the basement and act like they run the place. So that's basically what happened, guys. We had the contract with the Moors, right? To keep everybody safe. We had the contract with the United States, rather, to keep everybody safe. But what they did was the night before the Civil War started, they had all of the mulattoes and the light-skinned ones, they moved them. They had a whole plan devised where they leased land from the Sultan, right? Leased the west side of the Mississippi River, the plainlands. This was part of the Reconstruction deal, y'all. We're gonna move the Indians. We're gonna move the Indians over here so they can live the way they want to live. These are the American Indians. These are the Native Americans. We want to give them what they want, give them space to live how they want to live. At least that's the way they packaged it. That's the way they packaged the deal. In the front, on the front street, that's how they packaged the deal. But behind closed doors, they had made deals with those chiefs of those nomadic tribes. Put their face on the money. I got the proof. When I get the chance, I'm going to definitely show you. Put their face on the money and told them, pay for the land with this. We're going to put you on the deed. We're not just allowing you to just live here now. We're not going to do you like the Moors did and just allow you to be here. We're going to put your name on some paperwork. So that's why they got hype. Took their little Raggedy Ann asses over there, over across the Mississippi, and they signed those deals with them, and they left all of the dark-skinned Aboriginal indigenous Indians on the southeast coast of the country. Now, when they did that, the Union pulled back the army. When they pulled back the army, that exposed us dark-skinned Moors to the nomads. That exposed us to the plainland Indians. And that's what started the Civil War. That's what started the Civil War, really. Because the Confederacy was like, we want to retain our control over our land, over our resources. We want to retain everything that is ours. A lot of people got it twisted, and they think that the Confederacy was white people who was fighting black people. Wasn't no such thing at this particular time. The Confederacy, that war was about the owners, the republic, the people who really owned the land, wanting to retain their rights and their control over the land and its resources and the labor, which came in the form of slaves. The labor came in the form of slaves, y'all. America has been doing human trafficking since the beginning. Christopher Columbus took his old stink ass to Hispaniola, put a whole bunch of Arawaks on a fucking ship, took their asses to Queen Anne and said, look, we could do this to the whole continent of them. These people are passive. They will let you boss them around and they give you the best of what they got, being happy leaving themselves with little. And look, I bought about 500 of them for you to see for yourself how compliant and how passive these people are. We can use them for servitude. Christopher Columbus done put the idea in people's head long time ago. Long time ago. So now you have the Asians, the Mongolians who have come over. They've mixed with us. They've assimilated with us, and they have land. They have things that they want to preserve also. But you got this nasty bastard, Christopher, start going over to the far side of our empire, guys, because that whole strip of Africa, from the north shores of Africa, because the military even got a song, guys, from the shores of Montezuma to the halls of Tripoli. Where is Tripoli? Tripoli is all the way in Lebanon, boo. Tripoli is on another continent. Why is the Marines protecting land that's not even connected to this continent? That's because when that song was made, it was well known. It was not a secret that North Africa and West Africa, all the way down to the southern tip, was American territory. Can I get somebody who understands what I'm trying to say? Huh? Would love to get some of your resources so I can research it if you don't mind. Just read the as far as hey, Rich L, peace. Read the Constitution, right? You can start with read Act 6 in the Constitution. Read the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Like all of this stuff that I'm telling y'all, this ain't no secret, nothing. This shit is out here floating around, waiting for you to voluntarily pick up the books and read. But if you don't voluntarily pick up the books and read and question the shit that they make popular, if you don't question what is popular, then you will be a servant to what they make popular, whether you like it or not. And then when they doing all of this shenanigan stuff they doing around here, you getting lost in the source, you fighting with people who not even your enemy, and you running alongside with people that's not your friend. Which is exactly what's happening right now. Because a lot of us is fighting the system when the system is not the problem. The system not the problem. It's our ignorance of how the system works. That's the problem. That's the problem. But check out the Treaty of Marrakech, the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, and the Constitution. You could start there. You could look up the Reconstruction treaties. Read the Reconstruction treaties and just read history. Period. History tells on itself. You just gotta read this. Just gotta read the material that's out there. You know. But this is what happened, guys. This is what happened. They understood the law, right? But the people who wants to take the land from us, they understand the law and they made it their business to make sure that they twist history, they lie, and they forever keep you ignorant. They keep the Native Americans ignorant. They even keep their own children and everything ignorant too. Yes. That's why when they get older, they urge them to join the secret society so they can finally tell them what's going on. But they make them swear to it. Swear never to tell the truth. Make them swear never to disclose the truth about how this country really started, how civilization really started, and who us melanated people really are. They don't, that truth, if that truth gets out, it takes away their power. Because then you can assert yourself according to the law, and there will be nothing that they can do about it. And they know that. They absolutely know that. So now back to the day before the Civil War started, when the Union Army pulled back. They pulled back and exposed us Moors to the plainland Indians, right? Who were basically looking for a come up anyway. They was looking for a come up. They was looking for a way to really get a foothold on this country so they can live better. You think they want to be stuck out there in the goddamn teepee? In the middle of winter, the Midwest is harsh. Them conditions is rough. Now, they might have been okay out there. They might have been cool with that coming from Russia and all, but still, I'm sure they wouldn't have minded if they was able to set things up a little better for themselves. Besides, that was the whole point of coming to America in the first place. It's a new world. It's a whole golden city out there. They got buildings. They got pyramids. They got clean water. They got electricity. We had electricity, guys. How the hell we didn't have electricity? We had electricity. We had cooking stove. We had things going on. We had water, clean water too. And we able to get it in, clean it, and distribute it to everybody in our area to make sure everybody has clean water. We grew our own food. Was there nobody starving among us? Because the ground is there and food grow for free. The only thing you paying with it for is a little labor. A little labor. You put the thing down and you watch the thing grow. You harvest it. You take care of it. You take care of your ground. We knew how to live with nature without tearing it up. So of course they wanted to be here. Of course they wanted to be Indians. Of course they did. Of course they did. I don't even know what the hell the Mongolians was called before they came to America and was calling themselves Indians. Does anybody know what they were really called? Who they are? I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't think I ever heard them. They gave up their nationality. Now, this is why the United States of America broke the contract with them and constantly violates these people. The people who are on the plains, the people who live in the reservations do not have a international contract with the United States of America. They don't have an international contract with these people. They don't have a nation to nation agreement with these people. So, because they don't have a nation to nation agreement with these people, they only have a commerce. They have a commercial contract. We got to get our vernacular together, people. They don't have a national treaty with the five tribes. That Reconstruction Treaty was a federal treaty for federally recognized people. This is a good thing because they are saying, yes, we recognize you as a tribe here in the United States. But guess what? Us recognizing you as a tribe here in the United States does not guarantee you will be treated like a human being, because you are not recognized as a human being if you are only a tribe. And when those people decided to leave from underneath the Moorish protections and sign those papers and go on the Dawes Rolls list to be on the reservations with the Native Americans, they gave up their nationality and they gave up their right to be treated as human beings by this country. They have agreed to take on the privileges of the goddamn citizens. They just on another level of citizenship. It's not better than what we on as being black, to tell you the truth. It's really not a better situation. They just look better on TV. They just look better in the media. But it's not a better situation. Because here we have a group of people now. These the I can't even call them redskin Indians because they not redskins. I'm a redskin. You see me, I look just like the cowboy sign. You watch football? Yeah. You know the Cowboys? Absolutely, the stars. I'm about the same color as that emblem thing, right? You have a beautiful skin texture. You see it, right? The Dallas Cowboys, their logo is silver. With the little red man with the... Are you talking about
Well,
I don't know if it's football or basketball. I don't even know.
No, well, I think you might get it confused with the college because their mascots are different from the Dallas Cowboys because the Dallas Cowboys is just a star.
Okay, not that one. The one with the face.
So you got the Dallas Mavericks, that's basketball.
The Redskins.
Oh, the Washington Redskins.
The Washington Redskins.
They're getting rid of that logo.
You know why? Because that's me on the logo.
Listen,
that's my complexion.
Listen, your complexion is beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm just letting you know. But that logo's coming off.
They mad.
For years. This has been going on for before I was born.
Yeah, they probably changed Washington too.
No. Well, it's the Washington name's gonna stay. But the logo, like no more Redskins. It's gonna be
taking the logo off the Redskins.
It's gonna be Washington something.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see that? You see that?
Have a good one.
You too. But yeah, the Redskins. Them wasn't Redskins in them teepees, y'all. Them ain't copper colored people in the teepee. That is me and you. Redskins. That's us. But when those people decided to they agreed rather to just be called Native Americans, they lost their nationality. When they lost their nationality, they gave up the right to be defended. They gave up the right to have other nations come to their aid. And that's why Black people are in the situation they in right now too. Because they don't convince you to give up your nationality as well. You calling yourself Black. You calling yourself Black and then want to fight to change the system when we need to read and study how the system actually works and then put ourselves in the proper position. We gotta. Who read it's a book called the eight habits of successful people. One of the first habits of successful people, of hardworking people, is you got a circle, right? You inside the circle are things that you can control. Your health, your behavior, sometimes your children, things you can control go in your circle. Things outside the circle are things that you cannot control. Guess what, guys? When you read the law and you read with understanding, you don't have to change the law because you're not in control of the law. That's outside of your circle of influence. That's outside of your circle of control. You need to change yourself to be on the right side of the law. That is totally doable. That is totally freaking doable. So if walking around calling yourself Black is putting you on the bad side of the law because your humanity gets violated. They could kill you in the street. Nobody cares. After they riot, burn down a neighborhood, they still gonna let the nigga walk out for free. He not going to jail really. Like even this dude who killed fake Floyd, he not gonna be in jail long. They only did this little 25 to life bit to keep y'all quiet because y'all niggas is going back in chains. They trying to make sure you take the shot and go back in slavery. So they got to keep you calm and keep you from being rebellious right now. That's why they did that with the George Floyd case. Y'all got the peep game. A lot of y'all not for the streets. Y'all is not for the streets. Look at your hair. How are you doing?
You live right now?
So nice. Yeah, I'm live. Look at Jay. Look.
I use that. I don't even got my shape up.
Look at Jay.
I'm doing free tattoos down the block all week.
What? Free tattoos? Yeah. I might have to go and get a tattoo. I might have to come get a tattoo.
Yeah. I'm doing free tattoos. My first 3 females I'm doing.
You did your first 3 already?
I'm doing them now.
You doing the nut? You got 3 down there?
Right now. I'm about to do butter hand. I'm doing this palm. I'm doing the skeleton palm. I'm about to do the bones on his hand. You'll see that tomorrow.
No, that's hurting. I don't want my bones.
This thing have tattoos on his neck. Right?
It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm coming down there though.
No, we was in the park right now.
So I'm doing a lot.
All right, so I'm out here.
All right, cool.
Not this time.
All right. But yeah, guys. Yeah, they called the Washington football team now. It's called the Washington football team. They done took the Redskins off. They done took the Redskins off for real. And did you guys know Washington comes from the word Wichita or Ouchita, which is a Moorish word. That's an ancient Hebrew term. Because that's who was here. Well, no, Washington, that's Wichita. But they're going to take over and change everything. Wherever we don't keep control of, they're going to eventually change to erase the fact that we was even there. That's what they're doing, guys. That's exactly what they're doing. So, when the Native American gave up his nationality, right? Simultaneously, because of the wars, the frantic, the craze, just like there's a craze now, people forgot that they were Moors. Because people was getting kidnapped and thrown in concentration camps and told that you just got kidnapped from Africa and you in America now. Okay? They was kidnapping people from here, sending them to Europe. And they on the auctioning blocks in Europe, and the people are saying, look at this African just caught from the jungles of Africa, and we over there like, oh my God, the hell done bust open. Cause I'm from America. I'm not from no Africa. But who's gonna listen to the slave? Slave not even supposed to talk. Slave can't say nothing. Slave scared. Slave can't talk. Slave can't defend themselves. Slave just trying to make it to the next breath, God willing. They just trying to make it to the next day, so they not really talking too much. They not defending themselves but so much, and they can't anyway. They in a whole other place, hundreds of miles away, across water, across oceans. They shifted up the whole entire planet like this because our kingdom was the whole entire planet. Okay? So, let's see. I've been on here now for about 36 minutes. I'm going to try not to stay on too much longer. But yes, while the Native American was over there, we gave up our nationality as Moorish Americans and we allowed them to call us colored, Negro, black, and everything but ourselves, which is why we in the problem now. And you can and what happened to the Indians, we get afraid of that. We get afraid that if we go according to the Treaty of Marrakech and we nationalize, that they're gonna violate us and break the treaty just like they did with the Indians. Again, I'm going to say it. Indian is not a nation. Indian is what they called the people who were here to stop calling us Moorish. The term Indian is a denationalization term for us over here. Those Indians that were on the Dow's roll, who signed those papers, were not Moorish Americans. That's why the contract does not stick. The Treaty of Marrakech has never been broken. I want everybody who's hearing me right now, who feel like, oh, America always breaks the treaty. The United States doesn't respect their treaties. They always break their treaties. That is a lie. You never read that shit nowhere. That's something you heard people saying when they was angry. Let's keep it 100. That's the stuff people say based off of what they experienced. We got to stop talking from our feelings, because your feelings cannot defend you against the law. Your ignorance of the law will not spare you or excuse you from the law. So it pays for us to learn the history and learn the law for ourselves. Those Indians in the Reconstruction Treaty were not Moors. Those were not Moors. Those were not Moors. They did not take Moors and sign the Reconstruction Treaty with Moors. That was a federal agreement. And since it's a federal agreement, an in-house situation, they, being the only authority on the agreement, because those chiefs were basically like presidents of a corporation. The United States came in and fired their asses and changed the terms. That's it. Who are you? You're nobody. You're here because of me. I'm firing you. I'm getting you out of here. I'm going to replace you. And that's what they do. That's what they do to the Native Americans. This is why I'm not big on calling myself Native American. I'm not big on calling myself Indian. I'm not no damn Indian. I'm a Moor. I'm Moorish American. Plain and simple. I have a nationality. Indian is a term. Don't let nobody call you Indian. And don't get hype about nobody calling you Indian, because at the end of the day, Indian is not a nation here. Indian is not a nation here, and it won't be respected. You might be cute. You might get looked at and pawed over because you're so beautiful with your melanated self. But your looks not going to get you the respect and the protection that your body and your soul and your humanity needs and desires. And that's what the focus got to be, guys. Getting what we need for our humanity. For my individual human experience, what is it that I need? And you got to be protected from this place while you have your human experience. You want to be protected. So go read it over, guys. Read the treaty. Read the treaties of Marrakech. Um, Next week I'll probably go over the treaty. It won't be in one sitting because that treaty got 25 different sections. I will break down every single last one of them sections, because that treaty is powerful. And if you know it and understand and can read and move this thing underneath the proper knowledge, then you will have jurisdiction over your endeavors and over what you do in this country as a Moorish American person. And you won't have to be fighting with the law and stirring up all this disharmony in the country. All this black and white mess, this black and white fight happening, that's bullshit, y'all. It's bullshit, and you gotta grow up past that. You gotta grow up past that. You gotta grow up past that. This black and white war is dumb. This the government against the people is dumb. The people are against themselves without even realizing it. We're against ourselves if we neglect the opportunity and the time to pick up these things and research them for our own betterment. We are being against ourselves. We are our own worst enemy by not choosing to be informed. So I beg you, inform yourselves, and get comfortable with information. Get comfortable with knowledge the way people got comfortable with ignorance, so we can get ourselves up out of here. Y'all have a good day. This is Sufi Safi. I'm calling it a night, y'all. All right. Peace, love, and light, and lots of power.